Hello, my fellow otakus! Today, I will be reviewing Little Nightmares, as it is one of my favorite horror games and its sequel will come out in 12 days from the making of this video, which is a game that I'm very hyped about and really eager to play. I will start by saying that this game is a masterpiece in my eyes. This is the first time in my life that I've seen such a unique blend of the 3D platformer genre with the horror genre that was implemented so well in a game to the point where it succeeded in adding the challenge of platforming in multiple areas by having the player perform risky stunts without messing up, along with a sense of horror through its eerie and creepy atmosphere that's brimming with dark ambience in order to chill the player to the bone due to the sheer feeling of tension caused by the overall environment. As a result, the game manages to keep the player on the edge of their seat at any given moment, thus successfully placing them in the shoes of the character they control and enhancing the immersion of the overall experience. I will now proceed to talk about the story and the characters. In the main campaign, you play as a young girl in a yellow raincoat called Six, who upon waking up from a nightmare immediately sets out on a journey to escape the fearsome Maw, which is the name of the place that she's in. Meanwhile, in the DLC chapters you play as a kid and have the exact same goal, which is to find a way to escape the awful place that is the Maw. What is the Maw? And why is it a fearsome place, you ask? Well, that is quite simple to explain actually. The Maw is a huge space with an eerie, dark, and very creepy atmosphere which is inhabited by its enormous and mostly chunky residents who have the size of a giant compared to the youngsters, wear hideous masks, and view children like Six and the Kid as food or disposable bugs, which means that they will do everything in their power to capture you and consume you or straight up kill you if they detect you. That is why the player should always make sure to enter new areas with caution, utilize stealth, and blend in with the environment. I found the dark ambience and the overall darkness that looms over each part of the Maw, along with the fearsome foes who differentiate depending on the area that the player faces as Six and the Kid, as one of the game's biggest strengths due to the fact that it set up some very unique and cool set pieces. My favorite one has to be the escape dash from the guests at the guest area of the game, as it was intense and nerve-wracking. Another reason why I adore this game is the constant feeling of isolation and powerlessness that the player experiences as Six, the protagonist of this story for the main campaign, and the Kid, the protagonist of the story for the DLC campaign. I like that aspect of the game as it pushes the player to stay on their toes at any given moment, since each area could hide a deadly little surprise for them, whilst providing the player with vast yet limited areas to explore that are packed with cool secrets and in many cases feature the cute little creatures called gnomes that reside in the Maw. I really love hugging and chilling with these small cone-headed fellas for a few seconds whenever I encounter them, as they are such sweet and precious creatures despite the dark and heartbreaking secret behind their existence. Speaking of cool secrets, there are various collectibles that a player can collect in the form of porcelain figurines and magical bottles, as I like to call them, since a bright light appears whenever they are opened and there is usually an item inside of them. These special collectibles are scattered throughout the various chapters of the game and hidden in very good spots that may not cross the player's mind on their first playthrough, but they always feel satisfying to find since each of them unlocks high quality art of the game, which can be viewed on the extras part of the menu. Another exciting aspect of the game must be its boss battles, especially the last one in the main campaign, which are simple yet amazing. I really like their unique execution, since they rush the player's thought process and push them to make quick decisions. I will now proceed to talk about the graphics and the performance. The game had excellent visuals on both the PC and Nintendo Switch versions, which were the ones that I've actually played, with a lot of detail and incredible lighting that really sells the game's atmosphere to the player and pulls them in for both adventures. The visuals of the Nintendo Switch version were optimized for the game to run smoothly on the platform, thus resulting in that version having less visual fidelity which gives the impression of a slightly fuzzy look, unlike the PC version, which is very clean and runs at a smooth 60 frames per second. It was worth it though, as this optimization is the reason behind the game constantly preserving a smooth 60 frames per second frame rate on the Nintendo Switch, with very few to almost zero frame drops throughout my many playthroughs of the game. The Switch version's saving grace though is the undeniable fact that I can play the game wherever I like, which is the main reason why I bought the game on that platform in the first place, besides the fact that it runs smoothly. Honestly, the only drawbacks of the game are its length, as it is very short, with the main campaign being 3 hours long and the DLCs simply adding an additional 3 hours to the experience. And the loading screens on the Nintendo Switch version are quite annoying, as it takes a few seconds longer for the game to load compared to other versions, where the loading process is almost instant. Lastly, I will talk about the soundtrack. I really enjoyed the tracks in this game since they fit the dark and creepy vibe of the game due to their bone-chilling sound design. A perfect example is the Prison Toys track, which must be my favorite theme as it uses a tune of a music box along with ambient environmental sounds, various instruments, notably a piano, and whistling, as the toys in the title of the track are supposed to represent children thematically in this franchise's universe, in order to create a very memorable, powerful, and beautiful yet dark melody that will definitely stick with the players even after they have long beaten the game. All in all, this game, despite its cryptic narrative and the fact that it will leave players with various questions, is an experience that is definitely worth your time, especially if you're a fan of 3D platformers with puzzle elements in an absolutely astonishing horror setting, or a huge fan of horror games with puzzle elements that is looking for an experience that is both fresh and unique. I give Little Nightmares the Plus Ultra rating. Before I go, I have to make two important announcements. The first announcement is that I will do a playthrough series on Little Nightmares 2 when it drops under the Otakuman Plays label, which will be used for each playthrough that I do on this channel, and I will also review it in the near future. The second announcement is that I will be giving away one PC/Steam copy of the game to a lucky viewer, and all you have to do in order to participate in the giveaway is the following. Step number 1, subscribe to my channel. Step number 2, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And step number 3, leave a comment on this video regarding what you like the most about my videos and what game/anime/manga you would like me to review in the future. With that out of the way, I'd like to thank you very much for watching my review. If you liked the video, please drop a like and subscribe as it helps me a lot, and I will see you all in the next video. Otakuman out!